Beloved Nacho, 9 to noon, each and every Thursday. And Ben's inclusion, each and every Thursday, 9 to noon, is provided by... Hi. Your inclusion each and every Thursday is provided by
Maple Grove Lock and Keys.
There we go. We had a breakdown.
Lock and safe.
Had a breakdown in communication.
Lock and safe.
there.
Excuse me.
Safe.
We're thinking about locks for the 11 o'clock hour with the 6-pack of picks. We're thinking about safe locks for the 6-pack of picks. And we had a breakdown in communication there. It's an eye contact thing. It was like an audible. So we have the play.
Yeah, I was just kind of half listening because I was looking at my notes. I apologize for that.
No, you're fine.
You were just waiting for your time to talk.
Yeah. And right. We're in radio. We all like to hear ourselves talk, or we would not be in radio.
Sure.
Now, Ben is at Nacho Leber via Twitter. Twin Cities Live today, 3 to 4:30 on Channel 5 each and every weekday. And is it today on Twin Cities Live? The Texans are here Sunday, and Ben's going to share with us his best Tex-Mex recipe.
Oh, that'd be great.
I know, right?
Wow, you know what? That's a great bit. We should do something like that on Twin Cities Live. So we should,
for sure.
We should come up with a weekly segment where we just highlight something about the opposing team. It could be anything. It could be like fashion related, food related, fun related. You know, our whole motto. And then we just kind of like highlight real quickly who this team is. Because, listen, the audience doesn't really care so much about the X's and O's. They don't really want to hear me talk about Henry Toa, right?
X's and O's or Jimmy and Joe's.
Right. So they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be kind of fun if they heard something about the city and maybe the team.
Tex-Mex, though.
Oh, man.
Tacos
every day, man.
Well, you hard shell tacos are my very favorite food. So it's like, most people are like steak, lobster, or whatever. No, it's just line up the hard shell tacos and let me, whether it's beef, carnitas, or what, chorizo, whatever it is, let me dress those things up the way I want to dress them up. And that's it. That's it for me. I just love them.
Okay. So can I ask you then, can you verbally build your preferred taco for me?
I like beef. I like seasoned beef.
Seasoned ground beef, okay.
Lettuce.
Yep.
Diced tomatoes. Avocado, unless it clumps too much and makes the shell break.
Sure. So not guacamole, you want fresh avocado. You want diced fresh avocado.
Yes.
Or sliced. Okay.
I like hot sauce. So I like spicy sauce.
For you. Yep.
I like olives. And
Black olives?
Black olives.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I like the texture. The taste is not so palpable that it overwhelms the beef and everything else, but I like the texture. And I like corn. So I like corn on tacos. So
how much are you fitting into the shell?
You got a mega sized taco shell.
So now we got a taco salad. So we've gone from I love hard shell tacos to I love taco salads. So when you...
Have you done the one where they build, the salad is in the shell?
Oh, hey.
Have you had those tortilla bowl bits?
Well, that's the best.
That's the best kind.
All right, 3-2. My all-time favorite food would be taco salads. When you have all of it in the shell.
Yeah, in the fried shell.
Fried shell. Like thank you. And then you break the shell.
Yes.
And it goes into the taco salad. And then we put a little sour cream on top of it after we have everything handled. And then you just munch and just sprout a fourth chin. That's a second chin for you, a fourth for me.
So in my pre-gluten-free days, that was one of my favorite foods too. I mean, and the thing is, I didn't have it so much, so it always seemed like a really fun treat whenever it was at a place where I was at or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, taco salad. I'm absolutely gonna do a taco salad.
And you never get it.
Well, I don't get it anymore because they don't make it out of a corn tortilla.
Yeah, that's stupid.
They need to make a giant corn tortilla taco salad bowl, and I could have that every day.
See, this is you notice how he was talking about it as if it was a treat. It was a special occasion where I've been in my car eating a 6-pack and a pound by myself.
No.
Trying not to make eye contact with people.
No, I'm wrapped up on the gluten-free part because I still don't completely understand gluten-free, but I look at Nacho. And I'm like,
and you get it.
Right. Is that what happens when you're gluten-free?
No. That is
and it's a compliment.
That is still a misnomer because a lot of people think that when I'm going to be gluten-free. But if you still eat the same amount of caloric intake of whatever gluten-free item you're having, you're not going to lose weight. I mean, I have to do it because of an autoimmune sensitivity or whatever, but it's more about just like decreasing the amount of actual carbs you eat.
Yeah.
But that being said, you can go ham on gluten-free. I mean, gluten-free sweets and like donuts and muffins, like they're not any better than regular like sweets and treats. So
and they don't taste as good. So they don't taste as good because they're trying to do something healthy.
Kind of like, I don't know, man. I've found a few pumpkin breads that are like gluten-free pumpkin, but like that are damn near close to the real thing. And I would almost prefer the gluten-free kind too.
Well, at Twin Cities Live, where today they're going to feature Ben's Tex-Mex recipe to welcome the Houston Texans to town. I know, right? They may not care about the actual winning formula or the actual matchup between the Vikings and the Texans, but lo and behold, we do. And what are some things that excite you about this individual one against the Texans?
Just the high-powered nature of both defenses.
Right.
It's going to be really interesting, too, because they, as much success as they had last week against the Bears, I mean, it's sort of looked at the same way that we walked away from their Giants game. It's like, well, really, how good are the Bears? Like, I don't know. Maybe not that great offensive line. Are they really that bad, or the Texans sort of exposed them? I thought the interesting part of it, because I watched the game, I was kind of like half watching the game, scrolling X during, Sunday night or whatever it was. And it's
on the Peloton. Doing push-ups.
Not on the Peloton.
Eating watermelon and celery.
Not at all. I was probably, just palm deep in a bucket of popcorn.
Gluten-free bourbon.
Which doesn't exist either.
I have 4 bottles of Woodford Reserve bourbon in the announcer's booth at Canterbury.
Hello.
That people have brought me from the Kentucky Derby. Okay, so they're actually from Churchill Downs.
That's a good bourbon.
And it's like one of them is 22 years old. So, I mean, A, I wonder if it's worth anything. But B, it's like been in the Vox box at Canterbury Park, just in there. So it hasn't been properly stored to... however you properly store bourbon or whatever.
I'm happy to taste test it if you're worried about that.
We can definitely taste test that.
Really? So you 22 years sitting out in like darkness, then not directly in the sun, then light, like normal day and night. You think that thing still be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 years old?
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
Why not? Sure.
Damn.
Yeah, I'd try it. I don't think there's any bacteria growing there.
I'd take the risk.
You know that annual Christmas gift that I generally give everybody with the Minnesota Vikings Radio Network? Yeah. Yours has been eliminated, and it's not going to be the Visa gift card. It's going to be one of these bottles of Woodford Reserve.
Great. Then Nordo and I we're gonna crack that thing open, and we're gonna drink the whole thing.
Wow. So that's so you can have some. So they don't have expiration dates, right?
Look, I am no health expert when it comes to this, but I don't think that spirits go bad like that. I think the high alcohol content keeps any sort of pathogens down.
So, but like beer, probably.
Beer is probably not good 22 years later.
I don't know how wine works, but at some point there's got to be a separation of sorts in wine, I think.
Yeah, especially if it's not properly temperature controlled.
You want to do me a favor right now?
Yeah.
Could you search like Woodford Reserve Kentucky Bourbon 2002?
Okay.
Just like unopened bottles, like see if that thing's worth anything.
Do you remember how long it was actually aged at? Like how much the bottles actually aged when you got it? Is it like a 10-year?
What do I look like,
12?
Bartles and James?
Well, if somebody gifted it to you, I didn't know if it was like a Woodford Reserve, like 20-year already barrel aged 20 years, and then now it's sat for another 22 years.
I've seen them passing. I bet you it's a 12. I bet you it's a 12.
Okay,
a 12. What's that mean?
A 12-year aged.
Oh, so that means the sucker's 34 years or 32 years old.
It could be 32 years since it was actually put in the barrel, yes.
What if it's worth like $1,000?
I don't know. You should probably
I don't know how that works.
What if for Christmas I give everybody else a card and a thank you, a handwritten letter with a whatever, and then you get $1,000 bottle of Woodford Reserve?
Why don't you hand it over and I'll do some research?
So I just searched Woodford Reserve 2002, and there's some dealer site that said $2,700.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
But I don't know. I don't know how that's appraisal would be the right word.
Okay.
I don't know how that works.
You got an MVP card?
I do.
Well, today's the Pick'em bit at Canterbury. It's open right now, 10 to 10 in the evening.
Yeah.
Pick the most winners, win $500.
That's sweet.
So you got to get out there with that MVP card.
Okay.
You got to feel the felt.
Yep.
Go ahead and split sixes against a five, and get a couple of doubles and just crush. We'll get you a card key to the money room. Then you get up to a CBY track flack, get up to the press box, and analyze these Woodford Reserve bottles I have in my booth that I've never closely looked at except for one. And I just know it was from the 2002 Kentucky Derby. And if it was aged 12 years before that, man, I might be sitting on a series of free pick fives.
So I'm going to text you around 3:00 today, and I'm going to say, take a picture of them and send them to me.
Yes.
And then I'll get on it.
Well, why don't you just come to the track?
I got some stuff to do today. Would you like to hear about my schedule? Would you like to hear about Hold on, let me get the calendar out.
Bring the children off the bus. Call it a backpack adventure. Say they're coming to see Uncle Paul. Swipe or no swiping. We're going to call it a backpack adventure. You can pull them away from Thomas the Train for an hour, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, 3-2. You mentioned Nacho is like the dynamic nature of both these defenses, the speed and then the wherewithal and tenacity and at times unpredictability of both of these defenses. The Houston Texans sacked Caleb Williams 7 times. He got pressured 36 and hit 11. Flores' defense is best in show with 11 sacks so far. And I don't know about you, Nacho, because you're a better film watcher guy than me, so maybe you've heard of this guy before, Jalen Petrie, third year from Baylor, wears number 5.
Yeah.
He's like a Shaq Thompson, Marcus Golden hybrid linebacker bit. He's always by the line, but his back pedal, from what I understand, is really, really good. They got players like him, and there was another one in there that I just were not. Well, the To'o. Well, I'm just not super familiar with. And
Toa, I think is how they say it.
Yeah, To'o. I guess this Petrie's really, really good. Are you familiar with him?
I'm familiar a little bit with him, just from following the Big 12 and stuff like that. But I would say this. I mean, he absolutely. I mean, he had one play in the last game where he blew up this wide receiver screen pass. Knifed through 2 would-be blockers and this blew up the whole play. I would say this about the defense overall. They are very disciplined at the second level. They don't necessarily, like, on the snap of the ball, just run downhill. They play a little bit from depth, but then when they're so well coached and it's been trained in them, but when they make a decision to go, they go.
Wow.
Like, all their linebackers.
Sounds like they're double moves all over the field. Let's go.
It's possible. But that's the thing. Like, when you're watching them play against play action, they don't really move that much. They're like, okay, cool. Like, they trust their speed and athleticism so much that we're just going to go ahead and wait for this ball to be handed off before we go downhill and shoot our gun. When they pull the trigger and they want to go downhill, it's a flash. Like, they are downhill in a flash. So what I noticed a little bit is just, They do a great job just alignment wise. They just play from depth. They don't really. It's hard to sort of trick them on play actions. And they're like wound tight and they just go.
Yeah.
So you can take advantage of that a little bit. You can sort of wear those guys down. I think by giving them a lot to look at. Making sure. I think. Putting in some motions, putting in some shifts, just kind of being a little bit more layered and dynamic on offense. I really think that can affect sort of how they get aligned and what they want to do. But I would say this too. If you watched that game last week and you think that, this is a high blitzing team, they're really not.
They blitzed 20 times in the game.
Mostly on third down.
Yeah.
So it's mostly third down stuff.
Yeah. Because Caleb might be an MVP one day. He's not quick twitch yet.
He's not there yet. And really, you look at the first quarter, they only blitzed twice in the whole first quarter. And one was sort of a delayed blitz. It was like a 5-man. They're in man coverage. And it really looked like just the linebacker was just kind of filling in the area where he thought the running back was going to go. So it looked like a 5-man pressure, but it really wasn't. So you could probably argue in the whole first quarter, they blitzed 1 time.
Wow.
Now it amounted to a sack, but then as the game went on, as they forced Chicago into more third downs, it was like a pressure every third down. But look, if you can make your hay on first and second down, and you can pick up first downs on first and second down, then you can really get this defense on their heels. But I think this game is going to come down to just who can take advantage of whose aggressiveness.
I just got 7 text messages from people listening who I know, or they wouldn't have my number, who are all like, I'll take the Woodford. I'll take the Woodford.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't even need the one that might be 32 years old with the aging and everything.
Well, the 2002 Woodford Reserve Kentucky Derby Edition.
That's what it is.
If you're saying that's what it is. The average price, according to winesearcher.com, and they have a dealer, a couple of wine companies here.
Yeah, it has a little Derby card with it to prove it.
Yeah, average price is $2,700, as high as $3,500.
Guess who's playing the Pick 5 tonight, boys?
And once
me and my Woodford Reserve.
A texter sent this in, so I verified it. Once it's out of cask, bourbon doesn't go bad.
Oh, wow.
So it's not as so when it goes from the cask into the bottle, that's what you're getting.
Let me make a suggestion.
Y'all know what your Christmas gifts are now.
You take that home. Get that out of Canterbury.
Yeah.
Get that out of your nice little office.
I might have $5,000 of liquor in my booth, and I didn't even know.
Next time you're there today, just take that all the stuff and just take it home.
Okay.
If you're liquor.
Well, hold on. Come on. Okay, you can't do that, period, but you can't do it in 2024. So simply because it's a racetrack, you immediately think people are stuck and they're going to steal.
No, that's not.
Well, yes, it is. You can't cast an aspersion like that in 2024, or I'll cancel your ass.
Okay, I will say this: it is 2024, and I don't trust one soul out there. I don't care where you
trust me.
Well, here's what
I trust you, but I don't trust.
I'm one soul.
If I left, if you had this room right here. I don't even know how to find the perfect analogy. If it was just you and I that shared this room always and forever, I could leave stuff around and I know that you wouldn't steal it.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is in the press box at Canterbury. I've worked with them for 30 years.
Yeah, but how many people walk around that press box on a daily basis?
Yeah, a lot of people do come up there. It's a very good point.
But if that liquor disappears and then suddenly Mouse is driving around in a 1995 Mustang coupe.
Honey, stop that. Come on, man. Please. It ain't 2019, okay? I know it ain't 2019, so let's just... All right, 3-2. Who's better and why? The Texans or the Niners? So let's go Texans full strength, and let's go Niners with what we saw. So like the Texans, well, I can't say full strength because Joe Mixon, I don't think he's going to play. So like these Texans and those Niners we saw, who's better and why?
I think the Niners are more balanced. I think the Niners have a better run scheme, and they have better running backs. We still, maybe the Texans do. They really haven't unfurled it yet. They really didn't run much. They didn't really commit to the run until later in the game, like fourth quarter. So it's like kind of hard to really see what they really want to do in the run game.
Yeah.
I would say they're more explosive down the field passing the ball, but I would say Purdy and the way Shanahan, they run it, they give you more to chew on. And I think it's harder to defend across, from sideline to sideline.
So you're saying D'Amico can't think it out like Kyle Shanahan?
No, I'll put it on Slowick.
Okay.
I'll put it on him.
That's beautifully handled. Okay, I want to talk about Diggsy and some other things, including some reasons potentially Diggsy, wanted out here, and Jonathan Grenard and what Ben thinks of his season so far, of some things O'Connell told 9 to Noon a couple of days ago, and we're approaching the midway point of the 9 to Noon experience at FM 100.3 KFAN. Ben Leber is with us. Don't leave. Here we go, Paul! Leber. Here comes old Diggsy. Couple of TDs on 35 receiving yards a game. 35 receiving yards a game this year for Diggsy in his first year with the Houston Texans. He's in his 10th year and gave this team mucho memories. Welcome back to 9 to Noon. And thank you, Maple Grove Lock and Safe, local locksmith and safe store. Learn more at maplegrovelockandsafe.com. maplegrovelockandsafe.com for residential locksmith and lock work, also commercial, auto, locksmith, and car key work. They proudly and graciously sponsor Ben's Inclusion, 9 to Noon, each and every Thursday at maplegrovelockandsafe.com. Super competitive Diggsy. Always heard that he was an elite route runner. Do you think he, overall as a person, Do you think he changed after the miracle? Because he was always on the quiet side and always a little bit on the clandestine side and always had an opinion. He could get loud, but he was kind of quiet. After the miracle, do you think some things changed with him?
I think that maybe he became, in his mind, more of a true superstar.
Right.
But I got to be honest, man. I think that he always knew that he was. And maybe it allowed him to kind of just come out a little bit more and be a little bit more rambunctious with it and exuberant with it. But no, I think Diggs is he's been the same guy pretty much. I think internally in the locker room, I think guys would probably agree with that and no, this has always been Diggsy. Okay,
well, let me hit you with this one and see what you think. With Diggs, do we think he didn't like Zimmer's run first, play defense approach? And when they did pass, Thielen was the more popular of the two. So he's like, please let me leave.
Yes. I definitely believe as much as they publicly had a bromance with each other with Thielen and Diggs, and they probably still do, I always looked at it as Diggs sort of side-eyeing the whole situation. That, all right.
Dalvin, too.
Yeah, well,
because Dalvin was the running back who was, I want to run first, I'm using him. When we do throw, you're the bomb, but this guy gets the shine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And Rudy, too. Rudy got a lot of shine, too.
I just think that he wanted to be the alpha.
Yep.
And that seems to be the issue when he was in Buffalo as well. He always wants to be the alpha. And, even though the play call or this game situation, the coverage may dictate and say but you know what, you got to be a team player on this one. Either you got to be a decoy or whatever we're going to throw away, or Josh Allen chooses to throw away. He didn't like that.
Yeah.
He wants to be the guy every time. In every critical situation, he wants to be the guy. And so, imagine. It's funny because we've seen his outbursts and we've heard about his outbursts and stuff before. And I don't think it really would have happened, but think if it was the opposite. I think if we all are in agreement that he wanted to be the alpha, he publicly gave Adam the respect that he deserved. But I think internally and personally, I think it ate him up alive that he wasn't the alpha guy and he wasn't the number one wide receiver. Imagine if Thielen caught the Minneapolis Miracle. Imagine if it wasn't Diggs.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm just laughing because everything would be so different.
So different.
Yes, I know.
I don't know. I don't even know how he would have celebrated, but I think he would have been real pissed.
How does one defend Nico Collins? All right. I'm not an elite Nico Collins mind. I'm not an elite AFC mind, but if we're playing a team, like Andrew Van Ginkel. I remember a couple of years ago, Pat Jones had 2 sacks in the game. We got Skylar Thompson terrorism. Teddy came into the game, that whole thing. So I remember, getting ready for Van Ginkel up to that game. I had no idea he was a scholar of the game the way he is. So Nico Collins, I knew he was big, but I didn't know he was a beast. And in the last game against the Bears, he goes for 135 and 1, and he's all over the field, middle, boundary, shallow crosses, nines as you would call them, run straight down the field. How does one defend Nico Collins?
I think the obvious thing is you have to sort of disrupt what they're doing. I think anytime that we collectively as a secondary and as a defense can disrupt a lot of their short passing game, because as much as they are heralded for their big play offense and this huge arm that Stroud has,
yes,
they don't unleash it a lot. It's not all the time. I got to give CJ a lot of credit. He will just kind of take what the defense is going to give him. He's a very patient quarterback. He always knows that he has that pit viper in him where he can just strike at a moment's notice and just go down the field. And I think that's always the threat. But he's not afraid to just check down. I see a blitz, check down. Oh, I'm just going to hit something over the middle here with Collins, or I'm just going to hit something here. And then eventually on maybe the 10th pass, he'll go over the top and surprise you. That being said, they are a rhythm offense, and so if he doesn't feel comfortable in rhythm, then he's just not going to throw it. And that's when he gets a little flustered. You can fluster this guy as much as we want to respect CJ Stroud. He's still very young.
Yes.
And you heard, and we've seen all of this coverage of the Vikings-Niners game. about how Purdy's just like, oh my God, like this defense, are you kidding me? Like he just seemed mentally and emotionally exhausted after that game of like having to break them down the whole time. I think, CJ gets a lot of praise for his football prowess and his high football IQ, but he's never faced anything like this. And I think that our mixing up the defenses, our mixing up the coverages, and if we can just be a little bit more physical with a big guy like Collins, I think we will throw him and this offense off their game.
O'Connell is operating at a very high level in games right now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In what ways? Like what he's setting up and then, go ahead.
I think the unpredictability of what he can and can't do. And I know that we've broken down this 97-yard pass.
Oh, it's the more I watch it, the more unbelievable it is.
Well, I just got to say, like we've broken down, sort of how JJ set it all up, the play action pass from under center, all this other stuff.
It's play action from the end zone with Sam Darnold.
That's the bit, and that's what I'm going towards. Is like just look at that one play. It seems like nothing on face value. But when you really look at it and you look at game situations, second down, you're going to call a play. So like you're telling me you're really going to call a play with a quarterback from under center and you're going to ask him to quickly turn his half a body to the running back in a play action pass, drop 4 yards deep in the end zone, and then launch a 50-yard pass down the field, which takes time to do.
Yeah.
And you're basically running a two-man route, but one on the right side. Like that's really the type of play you're going to dial up right now.
And the Niners blitzed 3 times in the game. That was one of them.
Yeah,
Warner came.
So, Warner
blitzed.
That's the. I think that's the brilliance of his play calls. He keeps every defensive coordinator guessing. Like, is he going to take a shot right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I going to dial up right now if he just happens to take a shot? Is he feeling wily right now?
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that he's always done this, the way that we move our receivers around, the way that we have just enough motion, just enough shifts. The running backs are attacking the line of scrimmage and using that ability to bounce outside. Like all of this is sort of working really, really well. Now, it's not just play call. The guys are executing the play calls. I mean, you have to have the players execute the play call. So it is like a full team thing. The play call is meshing exactly perfectly with the skill set of the guys out there.
Okay. Lastly, what do you see so far in Grenard? No. Why was Jones easier to stop than Chandler in the 49ers win?
So say that again. Why was Jones easier to stop?
Aaron Jones was like easier to stop against the same personnel than Ty Chandler. Like Ty Chandler, he had a better game. I mean,
he did. Yeah, 8.5 yards per carry or something like that?
Yes.
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, it could just come down to just happenstance that the offensive line did a better job blocking. Not intentionally, like we're going to block differently for him, but like it just might be in that rotation because they're on certainly a predetermined rotation. That on that rotation of plays, it just worked out that the blocking is a little bit better, and we've seen Ty become just a better running back. Just a flat out good running back.
Yeah, more comfortable,
right? Understands where to make these cuts. Understands how to run downhill. He's just doing a phenomenal job. So I don't put it much more than that. I mean, Aaron Jones is going to get his.
I'm really happy. Maple Grove Lock and Safe and MapleGroveLockandSafe.com sponsors Ben Lieber's Inclusion 9 to noon. Because tonight I'm working at a racetrack where clearly I need a safe to put. I always
they have
all of my belongings.
Big selection of Liberty safes.
Okay, great. I need their biggest because Ben thinks at every racetrack all people do is steal to get show bets or whatever.
I don't trust people.
Okay, well that's a separate conversation. Maybe off the microphone.
We live in a world where we videos are exposing people acting at their very worst at all the time. So
is there something floating out there that you're worried going to pop like today, or something?
I don't think so.
Well, now you giggled. That was cute. Oh wait, did you have that Mystic show on Monday?
I did. Yeah, and it was
with Aaron Jones.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, he. Now I haven't just the draft party we had. Isn't he unbelievable in a public setting?
The weird. This is going to sound not super manly of a compliment to about a football player.
Mm-hmm.
He's just delightful.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the last two segments brought me glee.
Yeah.
And you bring me joy.
Oh.
The therapeutic Davenport of love is set up for you if you need to work on that internalizing problem. And I can't wait to watch you today at 3 o'clock on Channel 5 with Twin Cities Live, TCL, yeah, you know Wave. And see you at U.S. Bank Stadium on Sunday.
Can't
Thank
wait.
you.
See ya.
That's Ben Leber at Nacho Leber via Twitter. News du Nord is next.
News du Nord brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. Feeling the felt all year long. Poker, blackjack, and table games, having sips at chips. But the NFL Pick'em game is today as well. So with an MVP card, which is free, by the way, if you don't have one, you just go up to the front desk there and say, "I'd like an MVP card.
You're adorable.
I'd like to start my Canterbury journey."
Gonna leave it right there.
And
right.
I got an open slot in my wallet. I'd like to put that MVP card. They'll give you one. They print it off right there.
Yep.
And then you roll over to the machine. You make your picks for the weekend's NFL games. And if you make better picks than everybody else, you win $500. It's that easy. And then while you're there,
you love it.
You go to just play some. You got all kinds of table games. I'm a 3-card poker or blackjack person myself.
Yeah, I like 3-card poker.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't play it enough. We have a table, and it's not like when I go out and visit Smiley, like yesterday when he's working. It's not open at that time.
Right.
So, opens a little later, but it's a high-risk, high-reward bid. It's got some L to it.
See, it's the emotional roller coaster of table games, because you can jump up
Yes.
hundreds of dollars in minutes.
Yes.
Or you can be at the ATM in minutes, depending upon, just got to ride that flow, make the right decisions, and you'll have a blast with it.
So, say you got 25 on the ante.
Yep.
Okay. And just normal $5, $10 bets on the tricks or whatever.
Right.
Because if I'm going to play that game, I have to play that red light thing for $5 or whatever the minimum is.
Because they show you that $60,000 pool bid.
I'm not going to turn over three. I'm not going to turn over this, and this, and then look at them turn over the other two.
Yep.
And because I didn't want to spend $1 or $5, I miss out on $60,000. So, yeah. But, do you ever do it like this? Because queen is the qualifier. Okay. The dealer needs to qualify with a queen or higher. So queen's kind of the baseline as of the top card of your 3 cards. You shuffle the cards of your 3 cards a little bit, and then you look at one, and it's say a king or an ace. And you don't look at the others. You just put a green chip on top of it. Well, I got an ace high. I'm going to play the ace high, right?
Oh, every time you will.
Well, why look at the other 2?
There's no need to.
No need to.
And then just let the surprise play out.
The surprise happen.
But then you got to put
2-3 of clubs.
Then you got to put the bets down in front of it, of course.
Yes, right.
So just keep it going. Exactly.
Right.
It adds up quickly.
Thank you for the Pro Pick'em push. It's open right now at Canterbury Park. Learn more at CanterburyPark.com. 10 in the morning till 10 in the evening. Like the Wizard of Khan said, and he gave you last week, by the way, an unbelievably good Green Bay Packers tout. If I was spotting up, I was off that game. We got Malik Willis terrorism, which I didn't trust, but I didn't know how bad Indy's run defense was either until you pointed out that Josh Jacobs bit. But when you did, he had a bad back and wasn't practicing. Then he played and he went for $1 million. So that the 6-pack of picks is around the corner. If you're driving to CBY, we'll do our best to help you with that pigskin pick'em, Pro Pick'em at Canterbury right now, free to enter. $500 is what you can win if you have the most selections. And we appreciate you bumping us like that. CanterburyPark.com.
I'm laughing because when you hit me last week, I'm excited about it. I bet a buddy a couple of bucks on this game, we'll say.
Yeah.
And when you hit me with Jacobs has his bad back and he's not practicing, I'm just thinking about losing $100. It sounded like an ass, but it ended up working out. It was funny.
Well, why I laughed when you started, because I purposely didn't say to you anything about Canterbury and the Pro Pick'em bit. We race tonight at 5 o'clock. We have 5 days of live racing left, Thursday, Saturday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. So 5 o'clock, and they're racing tonight at Canterbury. But I purposely didn't say anything just to see if you would remember and bring it up. But I didn't realize how into it you were. That's fantastic, man. Thank you.
Well, it's my favorite spot in Shakopee. So I'm gonna actually be near there today.
And Prior Lake.
Right. The Minnesota Twins. It's my favorite baseball team, but they're having trouble just figuring out how to close out games here. They end up going to extras, 2-2. And they get 2 in the 10th. But then Enriquez gets knocked around in the bottom half. Guardians find 3. They win 5-4. It's brutal. The fans are restless. And they are just a half game away from being in the real meat grinder of meat grinders with the Tigers.
If we cared more, I mean, we would have to go down the road on what's happening with the Tigers. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know if I've looked at a box score with, like, they got this Parker Meadows cat. I mean, I know who he is. I can rattle off the names and everything. But there has to be something special taking place at Comerica right now. Now, granted, they're on the road, but with the Detroit Tigers, they never, ever, ever, ever lose.
Well, and it's lining up for them. Orioles kind of in a downturn, or at least having a tough spot of the season as they are very
Gunnar
much...
Henderson this ass.
But they take 2 or 3 from them. They just swept the Royals. That's what brought them within a half game. They win 4-2, I believe, yesterday.
Wow.
But, I mean, they got the Rockies on the schedule. They got the Athletics. I mean, I'm not trying to...
Oh, geez.
I'm not trying to dismiss the Tigers per se, but if there was a time for them to get these guys on the schedule and fight for a wild card spot, the time appears to be now. So starting tomorrow, we are big Orioles fans. If you are a Twins fan, they are in Baltimore, and we need that Camden magic to take place for the home team. And they close out at home against Tampa and Chicago. So
we're not supposed to need Camden magic to close out the Tigers.
That is correct. It felt weird saying it.
So we're at Fenway now?
We're at Fenway starting tomorrow. It's a nooner today. Simeon Woods Richardson against Cantillo at noon. So this would split. Let's get the split in Cleveland. Is that too much to ask for? Get the split and then play it out over the weekend in Boston, and then that sets you up for a final week blitzkrieg.
Yeah, the part of the game I watched last night was the wrong part. It was the ninth and the extra. I mean, it's the Guardians is so poised. It's like Naylor with 2 home runs, Josh, not Bo. They don't trip. I mean, they got players who've been to the World Series, man. They don't trip in big spots. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And with the way this team's been going right now, how do you know what the right part's going to be when you get the chance to turn it on? So hopefully the latter innings are the right time for our squad this afternoon. Good luck to them. Good luck to the Lynx. Their final regular season game is it's tonight at Target Center against the LA Sparks. And then it's playoff time, and later on you'll be able to podcast PA's conversation with Lindsay Whalen, who's going to be actually a regular guest moving forward as we follow the Lynx into the postseason.
You got to stop making fun of that. You'll enjoy Lindsay. I was teasing. Like, I got you 3. I got 2.5 on one time. Yes, 1, 2.5. Yes.
Injury report.
Lindsay's the bomb.
Yeah, she kicks ass. Injury report for the Vikings and for the Houston Texans. Some things to watch. Joe Mixon, and we'll get into this later this next hour, PA. I think Joe Mixon not playing is a huge, shocker. I think this is going to tell part of the story of how things look on Sunday, but he did not play. It'd be surprising if he did after that hip drop. I think it was it TJ Edwards maybe? Yep. And he has an ankle injury as part of it. But on our side of things, Jordan Addison. Now, Wednesday, it's like tomorrow's probably the big injury report. That'll actually, that'll give you a hint in terms of what's happening. But Addison has not practiced with that ankle.
Today's the big practice day. Tomorrow is the big report. So,
there you go.
Like the Texans had a laundry list of did not practices. A lot, some luminaries up in there.
Yeah.
So today, I would imagine 3/4 to 90% of them will go limited.
Yep.
Because that means D'Amico's playing games. So we'll see what happens with Joe Mixon. I don't think he'll play this weekend.
I don't think he will either, but I am watching just to see what's up with Brian O'Neill. Pops up with an elbow. Is that old people related bits? We know Van Ginkel's going to be limited with his foot in practice. I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah. Jalen
Naylor, Ed Ingram, full participants. Dallas Turner. Now, the severity of that knee knock that he took place against the Niners on Sunday sounds like it's not serious per se, but this would be similar in that conversation. I need to see him limited today. That'll give me some optimism into the weekend. So overall, not a bunch of big surprises. Justin Jefferson limited, but he should be full go in the weekend with that quad. Aaron Jones limited with a hip, but again, I feel like some of these are just where I'm getting a vibe that Kevin O'Connell will not hesitate to give people a breath in practice early on specifically, so that we can keep this train as healthy as possible.
So and I should know this, Addison was limited?
Addison did not practice, hasn't practiced now 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I read somewhere, though, that he was out there, maybe on the Mike Hughes Memorial Field. So I've always felt Addison Lambeau. So that's kind of where I'm casting my gaze.
I'm cool with that. Last time he was there, he had a hell of a game. Mm-hmm. Sadly, the QB's Achilles didn't make it through, but Addison was fantastic. That's all I got for you. I have other things. There's a Thursday Night Football, Jets 6-point favorites over the Patriots. At New England? It's in Jersey.
Oh.
I kind of want the 6. And I want Mayo's team to play tough in a division game. They've been game in all 3, handled the Bengals right down to the wire against the Seahawks at home. Kind of blew that game, actually. But they get off to slow starts with these Jets. I don't think everything's as good as they want it to be there. I kind of want the 6 if I was going to wager on this game. But that's not part of our 6-pack of picks, PA.
Nope. Let's start touting around the corner. I got a couple from the NFL, one from college football, and we'll see what the Wizard of Khan has up his tattered sleeve. You're listening to 9 to Noon. It's 11:01. News du Nord, provided by Canterbury Park and CanterburyPark.com. Get out there and play that pro football pick'em at no charge. It's your chance to win $500, and it's open right now. CanterburyPark.com. Be right back.